This is Predator Hunting Radio. My name is Tony Abreu. I am your host, and in this episode, we're going to be talking about the best predator hunting calibers. Also, we're going to get into where to find ammo right now, because ammo is hard to find. And then after that, we're going to get into my State of the Union, which is basically my quest to reach 100 predators for the year. So let's go ahead and get into this episode number 5 coming at you. All right. So episode 5, talking about best predator hunting calibers, as far as calibers to shoot predators with. So this is a pretty good one. A lot of people, calibers really are based on, preference, and I would say preference and availability. Obviously, you have your bolt action rifles, which have a wide variety of cartridges, and then you have your semi-automatic rifles, and then you have your AR rifles. So for me, I live in Florida, AR style. I live in Florida, and I really own mostly AR style rifles. And that's not because I want to have assault rifles, because an assault rifle is basically a name that somebody gave an AR to make it look bad. Okay, it's not bad. It's just a rifle. It's a semi-automatic rifle. And the term AR actually came from Armalite, who was the actual inventor of the AR rifle. So I have mostly ARs. The first one I ever got was a 223, or actually a 5.56, which 5.56 you can shoot 223, but 223 you can't shoot 5.56. It's kind of weird, but that's a very common round for an AR style rifle. So I got that, and then I realized how small it was. It's basically a 22 caliber, and that just wasn't cutting it for me. So it's a very fast round, but it just doesn't have a lot of knockdown, and most of them are 55 grain, and you can knock down stuff with 55 grain, but for me, I was shooting deer with it and stuff, and I was shooting a little bit higher grain, like a 62 and a 64 grain, and it just didn't have enough knockdown. So then I graduated from there and went to a 300 Blackout, and 300 Blackout is basically, it's a 30 caliber bullet. It's in the same cartridge as the 5.56 round, but they basically shorten the casing a little bit. They widen it out to a 30 caliber, and they seat it in there, and it has a neck on it. And that's a 300 Blackout. So 300 Blackout is really a versatile round, and the reason why I got it is because they have subsonics, and they also have supersonics. Your velocities on your supersonics is going to be anywhere from 19 all the way to maybe 25, maybe 2,500 feet per second. So it's got a short distance on it, and to me, some of the places that I hunt are small, so the 300 Blackout's a perfect little round, because it's not going to be like plowing through the woods, getting out of where I'm at. So, and plus it's got decent knockdown power for what it is. So I've definitely killed a pile of deer with that round, also hogs as well. And then after that, I graduated into a 6.5 Grendel, which 6.5 Grendel is my favorite round. It's basically a 6.5 millimeter shell. Okay, I'm not sure what the host is for it, as far as like what the main casing is, but it's a 6.5 millimeter, and the ones I'm shooting right now are 90 grain hollow points. Most of your average 6.5 Grendel are going to be like a 120 to 130 caliber, and maybe, or 120 to 130 grain. Maybe there's some 150s, I'm not sure. These are limited, but Hornady makes like a bunch of like 123 grain and 125 grain, but these are 90 grain hollow points. They're actually made by American Eagle. Whoops. All right, American Eagle, and they are 90 grain hollow points, and they are super fast, and that's why I like them, because most of your 6.5 Grendels The 123 grains are like 2,500 psi, or I mean feet per second, as far as like what the box says. And these 90 grains are saying that they're almost like 3,000 feet per second. So these things got a load of speed, and I looked up the ballistics on them, and they're just under a 243 with a little bit bigger and heavier, projectile. So to me, these are really effective at short range and long range for what I'm using them for, and it's my favorite round. Now, let's get into some more rounds, because these aren't the only rounds. These are just the rounds that I have experience with myself. As far as other rounds that I have experience with as well, obviously you can use a shotgun. I don't use shotgun, but maybe one day I will, especially if I ever get, do some daytime hunting and get like just a quick reflex sight. That would be fun to shoot coyotes with buckshot. But also I have a 30-06 Browning bar, and I shoot 165 grains out of that, and that thing kicks like a mule. And man, when it hits a hog, boy, it just knocks them, or a deer, it just knocks them down good. So it's a good shooting gun as well. But I don't use that for my night hunting because I just love the AR platform and how versatile it is. So that's what I use. So as far as other calibers and what people are using right now, we went to the 5.56, and we're just talking AR-15 here. So there's the AR-15, then you got the AR-10. The AR-10's got a lot longer action on it, so it has a longer magazine, so you can shoot longer shells in there. And that's another reason why I like the 6.5 Grendel, because it's in the shorter action and it fits in the AR-15 without having to go to the bigger, heavier AR-10. So as far as AR-10 rounds go, some of the other ones that they have, there's the 6.8 SPC, which is a 6.8 millimeter round, and it has kind of the same as the Grendel, but a little different, but good knockdown and stuff. The one thing about that is they don't really have a lot of short barreled stuff with that. So I'm not sure about all that, but I know that they do make short barreled Grendels. And that's another reason why I like that round, because of the SBR factor. And having short barrels when you're doing hog hunting is actually a lot more fun and effective, in my opinion. But a lot of people like long range and shoot longer barrels, and it just depends on your preference. But we got the 6.8 SPC, we got the 7.62 by 3.9, which is the AK round. And if you're shooting, some people shoot the AK, which is the AK-47. That's that round. That round can also be shot out of a Mini 30, which is like a Ruger Mini 14, but it's a Mini 30. It shoots a 7.62 by 3.9, which is a semi-automatic rifle. And then also, they make an AR-47 style rifle, which is the same. It's just an AR style rifle that shoots a 7.62 by 3.9. And actually, I want to name drop here because Palmetto State Armory actually builds their own proprietary AR style AK-47. It's got some modifications or whatever, and it feeds real good. And hopefully I'll own one of those one day. That'd be a cool little short barreled round to get as well. So 7.62, it's a 30 caliber, but it's the 39. The 300 Blackout is 7.62 by 35, so the 39's got a little bit more powder behind it. And 7.62 by 3.9 has a lot more availability on shells. Everywhere I go, I always see 7.62 by 3.9. They're everywhere. AK-47 round. So other than that, we can get into some other rounds. Obviously, there's a 204 Ruger that a lot of people use. It's a smaller 20. It's a 20 caliber, basically 204. But it goes super, super fast, but it's just a real small caliber. A lot of people use the 17 HMR or 17 Hornet, or there's the 17. There's a couple of different 17s that you can get. As far as AR style go, those are hard to get in AR style, although there are companies that make them in that. I know some people use 22 Magnum. Those are kind of cool, but for me, I like a little bit bigger, more knockdown. And then if you really want to get into some of the longer range stuff, there's a couple of basically calibers that are out right now that a couple of guys just north of here are using. One of them being their favorite one is, at least I'm pretty sure, is the 224 Valkyrie. So that one is basically a 224 caliber, and it is in a longer shell. I'm not sure exactly what the parent case on that is, but they come in AR style and bolt action, and they go from like 55 grain all the way up past 90 grain, and they're getting some super good speeds out of those as well. And then if you really want to hop it up, there is what they call the 22 Nosler, and the 22 Nosler in a 24-inch barrel, basically they're getting speeds almost up to like 3,500 feet per second out of that one. The only downside to those two, the last two that I just talked about, the 224 Valkyrie and the 22 Nosler, is the barrel life on those doesn't last as long as some of the other ones, because the speeds out of those is so fast that it tends to wear out a barrel a lot faster. So that's pretty much it as far as it goes for the calibers in the AR-15. Now, if we go into the AR-10, which is the longer, it's the bigger, a little bit bigger action, longer magazine. Basically, you got the 243, which I talked about. You know, it's a little bit faster than this one, but this is close to it, the 6.5 Grendel. Also 308, you got a lot of people using the 6.5 Creedmoor. There's all kinds of rounds in that one, but you'll see very few people that are using there are people that use them, but they're just so heavy. The AR-10s are so heavy. Although you might check out this guy. There's a jet going over, so you have to excuse the noise there. But there is a guy that I follow in Texas. His name is Texas Yagged, and I'm gonna name drop him here and shout out to you, brother. He got this AR-10 built and sent to him, and it's basically 5.9 pound AR-10, 16-inch 308, 5.9 pounds before, you know, having a magazine full of shells. And he's using that, and that's definitely on my bucket list to build one of those, maybe even build an AR-10 pistol, a 308 pistol. But that thing is pretty bad. And that guy, if you ever want to check him out, it's Texas Yagged. That's Texas, Texas. Yagged is actually German. It means hunt in German, and it's spelled Jagd. And you can check him out on YouTube. I'm not sure if he's doing a lot on YouTube, but you can find him on Rumble, and you can also find him on Facebook. And shout out to him. Check him out. He does a lot of hog hunting stuff, and also he's doing a lot of tracking, pig tracking. He actually built some GPS collars, and he'll catch a pig, put a actual collar on the pig, and actually watch it in real time and track it across properties. It's crazy. But that's a cool rifle that he's got, because it's really, really light, and I could see me using something like that, although I do like a little bit shorter barrel, if possible, with a kind of an SBR type thing. So yeah, that's basically it for the calibers. So you know, you got your AR-10s, your AR-15s. The AR-15 is the more common one. It's lighter. You know, and my favorite's going to be the 6.5 Grendel. The 300 Blackout's fun too. The 223 is good, but I've lost a lot of animals with that. So, I mean, it's all about shot placement, I know, but, you know, just having a heavier bullet, you know, when you're shooting animals is, I think, is key when you're doing the predator hunting stuff. Just for me, that's just my preference. Everybody has their own preference. So let's talk about the next segment, which we're going to talk about. Basically, ammunition. So right now we are in the middle to late April 2021, and ammo is super hard to find. Okay, we just came out of crazy times, the end of last year, beginning of this year, and ammo is super hard to find. So where's everybody finding ammo at? Well, here are my suggestions, and I'm gonna go with it. So number one, I was able to pick up like 3 boxes of these before the ammo shortage even started. And I'm glad I did, because I still got about 100 rounds left, although they are going pretty quick, and I'm going to have to start finding an alternative soon. But with that being said, I'm starting to see more and more sites online talk about there's more ammo coming. There's more ammo coming. A lot of people are doing ammo. I think the biggest problem was the fact that the primers, there was no primers, and that was a big deal. So my number one right now that I'm looking at ammo for, number one, is basically, first thing I would do is I would go to your local gun shops or whatever and see if anybody's there reloading. Now, I am lucky enough in my little town, which is a very small town, I have like 2 or 3 gun shops. And one of them, the guy actually reloads shells, and he basically will reload me like 50 for, it was $50, but I'm sure it's gone up now, because that was like 4 or 5 months ago. And I talked to him the other day, and he was waiting on primers. He needed primers. Primers is the biggest thing that people are missing right now. Some people have primers, they're saving them. Other people are waiting on primers just to do reloads. So if I were you, my number one thing is go into your local market and see if there's anybody reloading. I know there's people that do it. If you go and network, you can find people that do it. You may be able to strike some ammunition up, maybe. But this guy, last time I checked with him, it was about 3 weeks ago. He told me to check back in a couple weeks. I have not been back, but I need some 300 blackout, and also I'm going to need Grendel. But the Grendel I'm going to be a little more picky on because I like the 90 grain, and he can't do 90 grain, and that bothers me. So, but at the same time, I might pick up some 300 blackout from him just because. Number 2, online. So online there are hundreds of websites, but the main website, there's a couple of different ones right now that you can look at. And my go-to right now on the online space is called ammoseek.com. 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 You basically go there. As soon as you click onto the thing, you type in on the search bar, you type in the caliber that you want, and usually you type in the numbers, and then you have to scroll down. On the 300 blackout, I'll actually go 300 space AAC, and then it'll actually bring up an option for you. You click it, it'll bring up all the ones that are listed on that site as far as 300 blackout rounds go. Now, there's obviously going to be a lot of full metal jackets on there, but you will find soft points, and you will find hollow points, and actually game rounds in there, but you have to look for them, and they're going to be expensive. So a lot of your rounds right now are starting like $1.25, and they go all the way up to $5 a round. It just depends on how bad you need them. For me, I'm kind of a person who likes to shop around and likes to look, and basically I'm looking on there, and I found a couple that I like, but they're expensive. And I mean, right now ammo is expensive. I'm not buying it until I really need it. I think once I get down on those, there's some 300 blackout rounds that I might buy that are 100 grain, that are actually solid copper, that are really good for hogs and stuff, because that's what I'm shooting at most of the time. And I think I'm going to maybe possibly get those. But also I'm looking for a 6.5 Grendel as well. And the Grendels are super expensive right now. And also they have Hornadies, they have all kinds of brands. Wolf, I mean, just your best thing to do is just go on there, actually create an account, save your search. You can, once you make your search, you can save it, and then you just go back frequently and check and find what you want, and then it'll take you to the page where it's at. You order it, and you're good to go. So that's how I find ammo. There's definitely ammo out there. People say, oh, there's no ammo out there. No, that's not true. You have to know where to find it. Go to ammoseek.com. There's plenty of ammo on there. You just have to know how to look for it and where to find it. There's plenty of ammo on there, I promise. And you have to know that you're not going to pay $1 a round like you used to, or less. It's just not like that right now. Maybe later when we get more supply, it'll go down some, but right now that's just how it is. So you have to just take the good with the bad. So that pretty much wraps up the ammo part of it. The sun's going down here pretty good. The sun's already set, and we're going to go ahead and get into the last part, which is my State of the Union. So right out here last week we did another bait hole, and this bait hole actually hasn't hardly been touched. It's kind of weird. The one over there is just getting hammered. So State of the Union, I had a goal. I set a goal at the beginning of the year to shoot 100 predators. At one point, at the end of last year, like, I killed almost 10 coyotes, some bobcats, whatever. And I don't remember the exact number, but it was just like a little over 10. And then this year I was like, got a little aggressive. I'm like, oh, I want to kill 100, which I do want to kill 100, yes. But then at a certain point, I like started a podcast, and then I started over the podcast, and I'm like, man, 100 sounds like way out of whack. But that doesn't even matter. My goal is 100, and I'm definitely moving forward on that goal every single week. And that's cool because after, let's see, on Thursday night, I did the podcast on Sunday or Monday. Usually I do it on Sundays. Tonight's Monday. But Thursday night we went out and we hit the bait hole and actually killed 2 big boars on that bait hole on Thursday night. Cool, that's 2 pigs, boom, in the money. And then on Friday night, we went out and we took a guy out and boom, we killed another pig. So that puts me at 3 right there, and there are a lot of pigs right now. Holy moly. So it is, like I said, in the middle of April, and the pigs are just out of control right now. Like that bait hole over there that I did the video on last week, the best bait, pig bait. I mean, the pigs, we killed those 2 pigs, and they are just back on that hole, steady, steady, steady. And you know what really amazes me is watching the boars attack that hole. For some reason, the boars, there's just a lot of boars. We've killed so many boars, and there's still more boars. Every time I turn around, the boars are just attacking that hole over there. So, good stuff. Also, still haven't caught up with the tags on the deer, but I'm still working on that. That should hopefully come through this week. Now, I'm not going to really count deer as my 100 kills this year, but I'm definitely looking forward to killing some more deer because I need some meat. Some more deer meat, and that's always good for the freezer. So that's pretty much it. Gonna keep hammering down on these hogs though. The hogs are there. Another cool thing is the 2 hogs that we killed on Thursday night, we actually put them on the other side of that farm over there on that 80 acres, and we did see a coyote in the area. The coyotes have been eating the pigs, which is cool. We'll keep a bait pile there. We got a bait pile up here from the one we killed on Friday night. So now, not only are we killing pigs, but we're also baiting the coyotes. So that's cool, and that will help the whole process as well. So that's pretty much it for this episode number 5 in the books. Thank you for watching. If you like this podcast so far, please drop a thumbs up, smash that like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and subscribe. We got lots of cool stuff coming down the pipe. And I appreciate you watching this. I hope it's entertaining. I hope it's informative. And if there's something that you would like me to talk about in a future episode, or there's a question that you might want to ask, please drop a comment below. And I guess we'll see you on the next episode.